Spooky season isn't over just yet. Welcome back to another video on Darling Little Artist. Today we're trying out Holo Taco's first official Halloween collection. And a side note here, I know that this video is coming out after Halloween. The last couple months have been a little busy for me, but I thought we could just extend spooky season just a little bit longer because I am so excited for this collection. For those who don't know, this collection includes Simply Deceased, Trick or Trash, Thirst Trap, Just Vamping, So Toxic, Dead Serious, and then in addition to the Halloween collection, Holo Taco also released a new glow-in-the-dark taco called Aqua Glow. This one has a bluish tint to it. Let's get started with Simply Deceased. So this is a thermal polish with a dark burgundy cold state, which you're seeing in the bottle right now. And once it warms up, which you'll see once I paint it on my nail, is a blood red for its warm state. So let's go ahead and paint it on the thumb here. I have been playing with this polish a little bit because I was just so curious and I needed something on my nails for Halloween. And I am really enjoying the polish. The thermals are really fun. However, you may notice my nails are very short right now. So you're going to mainly see the warm state on my nails, which is a very bright red, just because my body heat is causing it to be in its warm state. It's just warmer. If my nails were a little bit longer, you would probably be able to see the tip of the nail in the cold state, which would have like a darker tip. But I still think this polish is really cool. It's also getting very cold outside, so going back and forth between outside and inside, you can kind of see the change a little bit, even with my short nails, which is always just so much fun. I love that they did another thermal polish. I know that making thermals, there's a little bit more that goes into it, and I understand why they can't do it all the time, but I think it's fun when they treat us. Next, we have Trick or Trash, which is a multicolored metallic foil flake polish with a dark jelly base. So it's very similar to those who may know Disco Dusk, where they have the reflective polishes that the actual reflective flakes, I guess you could say, are different colors. So you see the different colors pop up on that polish, which is kind of similar to this polish. Let's paint it on. Did everyone have a fun Halloween? I feel like October just came and went and I wasn't able to enjoy it as much as I wanted, but I still had fun. It was a fun time. I didn't really have a costume this year, but I guess right now I'm dressing up my nails, so it all works out. Here's the polish on the nail. This is just the first coat, so it's very translucent. And I can start to see ooh, actually these flakes look really nice. I'm excited to see how this builds up. The foil flakes really shine. It's pretty cool. The next polish is Thirst Trap, and this is the same micro foil polish that Holo Taco has been introducing with a lot of its limited edition releases. Most recently, the polish that is kind of sticking around is Stop Bugging from the Camping collection, but this one is bright red. So I'm actually really excited to see what this looks like. I really am enjoying this polish from the other polishes that have been released, and this is also such a bright red. I'm excited. Okay, so pretty good coverage on the first coat. As you can see, it's definitely going to need another coat just to even it out, but this is definitely something that you could probably just kind of slap on if you're really in a hurry. Look at that. That is gorgeous. Oh my gosh. It kind of reminds me of Favorite Sister, the seasonal polish that is now retired, that Christine's sister, it was her polish that was released. That one was a frosted metal. I feel like the microfoil formula is for people who don't quite understand the frosted metal formula that tends to go underrated. But this one is just, it's a little bit easier to work with in the way that I think crushed Holo is easier to work with glitter Holo. Frosted metals kind of have that same texture as glitter, so it's a little harder to take off. And this one is just super easy. It's very similar to crushed Holo where it just comes off. It's very easy to work with, same with crushed Holo. So I can see this formula getting pretty popular. I really hope that other people agree because I'm loving it. Next we have Just Vamping, which is a dark purple Crelly, which I'm loving that they're doing more Crellys. I love purple. It's one of my favorite colors and I'm very excited. I know Crellys are a little bit more exciting than cremes because they're not just a basic creme, but they're still very, I think, kind of subdued or just not as, I think, eye-catching as like a glittery polish or another specialty polish. But I do like that we're filling up the Holo Taco catalog with some Crellys. I think that Crellys are, I feel like there's a little bit more you can do with Crellys, and I think that's really cool. I think you can kind of do a little bit more nail art with it, more specialty effects with it than you can just with a creme. With Crellys, I've loved to play with kind of the Crelly sandwiches where you do like a coat of Crelly, like a topper, a glittery topper, and then another coat of Crelly on top of that just to kind of see that effect. I think that's really cool to play with. So I'm excited for another Crelly. I can't wait until I can do an entire Skittle Mani with Crellys. That is going to be a fun time. Okay, actually, are we almost there? We might almost be there. Anyway, let's focus on this nail art first and these polishes first before I go off on all my crazy ideas. But I love this shade of purple. It's still a little translucent because she's a Crelly, but I'm so excited. And I feel like this is very Halloween. This is a very Halloween purple, but I also think that it's very versatile. I think you can use it on a lot of occasions. It doesn't have to be for Halloween, but I love that it came with this collection. All right, and on the last nail, we are going to paint Dead Serious. This is a multi-chrome formula that shifts from dark purple to red. I actually have it on this hand, and at first I wasn't super excited about it. It wasn't the polish that I was like very excited to get, but it does look very sophisticated on my nail. It looks very classic, you know, because there's not a whole lot going on, but there's just enough to kind of catch your eye. And yeah, I think this is a great polish for a very classic chic look. So let's go ahead and paint it on. I believe it goes on pretty smooth. I do think, yes, it is very translucent at first. It did this when I painted on the other nail, so don't worry, it does build up pretty quickly. And this is not like the best representation of the color, but we'll get there. We'll get there. So this is the first coat for this hand. Now you'll notice that I have not used all the polishes yet. I am planning some nail art, so I am going to save some of those for later. But right now, what I need to do is do a couple more coats of these polishes on this hand to have a good strong base on each nail. And then we can go on with some Halloween spooky nail art. here are all the polishes that we've painted on so far with 3 coats. Looking very spooky, very fun for Halloween. I love all these polishes. I love this palette, but I think it needs a little something extra. So I'm actually going to do a little bit of nail art for this look, mainly so we can include all the polishes that have been released this Halloween season, and also because it's fun and I just kind of want to do a little something extra. But because it involves some nail vinyls, I'm gonna let this kind of set overnight and then I'll be back tomorrow to finish out the look. So it is now the next morning and I'm still wearing my orange Life of the Showgirl cardigan because it's a vibe. And we are going to do some nail art. So now we are going to work with So Toxic, which is a new plasma green Crelly. And we're gonna use some nail vinyls. So I have 1 spiderweb vinyl left on the sheet and I thought this would be perfect for this look. So I'm going to very carefully take it off the sheet and I'm going to put it on the other Crelly. I thought it'd be cool to do the 2 Crellys together. The Just Vamping purple. So we're going to do this, and we're going to very carefully paint over this nail vinyl. So I want to use kind of a light coat at first because I don't want to flood the vinyl so we can't see the pattern. But I also know that it's a Crelly, so I want to make sure that we're getting as much color as possible. So let's do 1 more coat. Okay. And here is the moment of truth. Look at that. I kind of like that it's a little translucent. It's not, yeah, it kind of has more of a darker vibe. I really like that. So now for a little something extra, I'm going to add the new Holo Taco Glow in the Dark Taco. This one is the Aqua Glow. It has a bluish tint. And these glow in the dark polishes really show up on very light colors, and I think it'd be really cool to do the green. So I'm just gonna carefully kind of dab it on where the green is. Ooh, that was a little much. Okay. Maybe I just, yeah. I'm gonna paint this over the green. So this is the final nail art look. I'm loving it. I think it gives such Halloween vibes in so many different ways, and I think it just really goes together. But I really enjoyed making this video. Thank you for whoever's watching. I know this is coming out again after Halloween, but I just really wanted to enjoy this collection. And I think there's some parts of spooky season that can kind of trickle into November, and it's not just starting with Christmas, because I'm not ready for that. I'm going to try and be more timely with my videos when Holo Taco launches come out, and hopefully I've been able to catch up and can do just that for the end of the year and the start of next year. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. You can check out my socials. I'm Darling Little Artist on Instagram and TikTok, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.